Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Saturday, September 10th, 2022. The fire potential impacts for the next few days are shown here. For today, we're expecting some breezy winds across the southern Snake River Plain and an increase in thunderstorm activity across southern Nevada and southeast Utah. Tomorrow, the thunderstorm activity continues in generally the same area, moving a little bit further northward in western Nevada. And then we do have some very dry conditions in the afternoon and high haines with the high instability there in the central Idaho mountains for anticipated conditions for large fire growth. And then on Monday, we see a stronger push of moisture northward into mainly Nevada on Monday for a little bit better chance of wetting rain across the state there and up into central and southern Utah. This afternoon smoke forecast for the next couple of days shows continued smoke in place, mainly over Idaho and into much of Utah and northern Nevada. On Sunday, we do see some of that smoke decreasing across the far southern Great Basin under southerly flow there. Precipitation and lightning for the last 24 hours is shown here. We did have some thunderstorms across southern Utah and portions of southern Nevada that were accompanied with some light precipitation. Great Basin activity remains steady, especially with the large fires over Idaho, those 14 fires there, and some light initial attack in northern Utah. Precipitation for the past 14 days shows similar story at broken record really, with very light precipitation, almost no precipitation with the very hot temperatures that we've seen, but there has been some precip across the far southern portions of the basin. ERCs remain high, very high, near record or record setting, especially across the north. Although with the cooler air that we've seen come in, the ERCs have begun to drop down just a bit out of record territory on the Payette, but still above the records over the central Idaho mountains. Although we will continue to see these values decreasing and really quite rapidly by the middle of next week as we see precipitation and high relative humidities move back in. This morning's satellite imagery shows a low pressure system off the Southern California coast that's bringing some moisture into the southern Great Basin, which is where we'll see some isolated thunderstorms today and tomorrow. And then as the system moves through, we'll see a better chance of that moisture moving further northward by midweek. So for this afternoon, dry across the north, isolated thunderstorms across southern Nevada and southern Utah. No high risk triggers issued for those thunderstorms. A closer look here showing where the precipitation is expected, far southern Nevada and then along the southwest border of the state and across the Arizona Strip. Afternoon wind gusts should be fairly light everywhere, except we are seeing some breezier winds in the Snake River Plain here, the western portion of the area, and then some gusty outflows with those thunderstorms. On Sunday, more of the same is expected, but that low moves a little bit further northward, bringing the chance for some thunderstorms a little bit further northward in western Nevada, but elsewhere dry over the north and east. And we do have high risk for that hot, dry, and unstable air mass over the central Idaho mountains, which could lead to continued large fire growth. On Sunday, high temperatures shown here are still going to be pretty warm for moving into the middle of September. Highs in the 90s there in around 90 in western Idaho, and much the same across the area. Minimum relative humidities are still pretty low, especially over those central Idaho mountains in the single digits. Overnight, however, here on the right, the maximum relative humidities, we are seeing overnight recoveries coming up. With the cooler temperatures, certainly has made a difference in our overnight humidity recoveries, and so that's helping also. And the precipitation here on the left for Sunday is showing still some chance of thunderstorms over western Nevada, but a little bit lighter than Saturday. On Monday, the moisture will start to move further northward as that low gets swept up into the overall pattern here. And we'll see a better chance for thunderstorms and showers over northern Nevada. And our fire potential starts to decrease across northern Nevada as well. So closer look here, Monday for precip, better chances for precipitation across the eastern half of the state and moving up into the northeast portions as well. Minimum relative humidities come up across Nevada, and even a touch over far western Idaho, but still pretty dry across much of the state there. 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. This takes us through Monday, and it's really on Monday where we expect to see the precipitation picking up over Nevada. On Tuesday, the bigger change is expected, with a better chance of moisture or deeper moisture moving further northward and eastward into the Great Basin as this trough moves into the Pacific Northwest and West Coast. So we see some better dynamics for some more widespread wetting rains. So that is expected on Tuesday, even as far north as Idaho and into western Wyoming. So we're keeping a close eye on that, but our overall fire danger should be starting to decrease by Tuesday. And then on Wednesday, another day of showers and thunderstorms across Idaho and western Wyoming, northern Nevada, and northern Utah. And that even continues into Thursday with the third day of higher relative humidities and some showers. So a pretty rapid decrease in fire danger really across the north as we get into Tuesday through Thursday of next week. And then some return drying by the weekend. The 7-day precip totals shown here are still pretty impressive going into midweek next week. Really, again, Tuesday through Thursday is when we expect most of this moisture to occur, or this precipitation to occur. Still, the dry, we're going to be right on the fringe of the precip over far western Idaho, but a better chance over central Idaho mountains, eastern Idaho, western Wyoming. In those areas. The extended forecast for September 17th through the 23rd puts a below normal temperature in place over the western U.S. and above normal chances for precip over Idaho and just really the northern Great Basin. And this concludes today's fire potential briefing. Please check back tomorrow for the latest updates.